Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon the interruption, but I am Tony Kornheiser. Wilbon, the fantasy hockey season is almost upon us. Do you think it's a big deal that we're this late with the roast? Hello, folks, and I'm Michael Wilbon. Tony, hell no, it doesn't matter that we waited this long. This is going to be the greatest chirp this league has ever seen, so let's get right into it. Tony, let's pick up where last season left off with the championship. First of all, congratulations to our new champion, Zane. An excellent performance, but the question is being asked, Tony, did Zane win that championship or did Randy lose it? It's a good question, Michael, and I guess we gotta look at the numbers right out of the gates to find out what happened here. So we're in the final game. We've got a 7-4 championship victory here for Zane over Randy in the finals, but here's what it comes down to. Randy sits Martin Jones for the last 3 games of the season. 2 of them work out, but here's the thing, 1 did not. Sunday, the final game, Championship Sunday, Randy benches Martin Jones against the Vancouver Canucks. The Sharks had allowed the 5th fewest goals in the league, and Vancouver scored the 2nd fewest. Wilbon, they scored the 2nd fewest. Randy benches against that. There's no excuse for this. Randy lost the championship. I don't know how the man sleeps at night. How does he even wake up in the morning and look at himself in the mirror? You're so wrong on that. I don't want to hear it, and here's why you're wrong. You even said it yourself. Randy benched his goalie 3 times in that final. All everyone wants to talk about is that final time that he benched him. But what about the first 2 times? Right, when he got lit up. 2 times, you're playing with fire, you're gonna get burned, Randy, all right? If he had started his goalie all 3 times, the way that people wanted him to in the final game, he would have been blown out of the match. It wouldn't even been close. I don't see it that way. It's not how, it's how many. Zane's got 1, Randy's got 0, okay? That's the difference. He put himself in a position to win a title, and he won a title. In 2 years, no one's even going to remember who Zane beat. They're just going to remember that he's a champion. All right. Congrats to the champ. Moving on. Last year, the NHL instituted bye weeks to try and give every team a 1-week rest in the middle of the season. My question to you, Tony, is how long before Jammer realizes that these bye weeks have been instituted? Well, you bring up a name in Jamie Croft, and Jamie Croft is a curious case. He's the Eli Manning of this league. No discernible talents, but somehow he has 2 championships. That's the thing that people keep forgetting about. He's got 2 championships. One as Jam Tarts Ride Again, and then a second as Jam Tarts. Somehow Jam Tarts Ride Again was named before Jam Tarts, but I don't even want to get into that. That's the way his head works, so it's best not to think about that. But here's the thing. The league keeps compensating. Every time Jamie wins a championship, the league changes the rules. They added hits and blocks. They call it the Jammer effect. Well, here's the thing. He finds a way to win championships, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again. It's a lazy narrative to say that Jamie doesn't know what he's doing. That man is going to win a championship again very soon. You mark my words. No, Tony, I'm going to tell you what the lazy storyline in all this. It's not the storyline. The lazy thing in all of this is Jamie Croft. That's what's lazy. Because I can tell you exactly how his season's going to go right now. Okay? 2 days before the draft starts, he's going to remember that the draft is starting, and he's going to have a panic attack that the NHL season doesn't, for some reason, start in December. And then he's going to hit sort by draft position. Yeah, that's what he's going to do, and he's going to draft his team from there. No high risks, no upside guys either. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to have an okay team. Come week 6 or so, his 2nd round pick is going to get injured, and 5 weeks after he's healthy, he's going to remember to activate him from the injured reserve. He's going to squeak into the playoffs, and he's going to finish 8th overall. All right, that's this guy's season. 7th or 8th. That's what I've got him at. Nothing more than that. Hey, I've got him at 8th, but your point still stands. Still a good point. We turn our attention now to a quote that's making a lot of headlines on social media. It's from Joel Apps, and the quote is, "I am the wrath of God. If you had not angered him, he would not have sent a punishment like me upon you," close quote. He went further to say, "I am the police. King Kong ain't got blank on me." Yeah, I did see him do that. I saw him. What are your thoughts? Well, Tony, I was taken back by these words from Joel. It's not something you would normally expect from him. So you got people saying they got a target on his back. He's got a bullseye right on his back. Everyone looked at that schedule, and the first team they looked for was Joel. They circled that on their calendar. Everybody's looking for Joel right now. You say something like that, you come down to Chicago, say something like that to me, all right? Joel is asking for a world of hurt this season. That man is going way overboard talking the kind of stuff that he is. Your boy, Joel, not mine.
I see where you're at. I see where you're at. But here, I'll tell you this, though. I like that he's talking this much trash. That franchise has been in disarray for years now. He's got to do something to get it going. And let me tell you something. Little Birdie told me this. I think Joel's going to have a good season. Yeah. He's been reading blogs. He's been doing his work. He's been at the gym. Yeah. I think he could have an all-time great year. Maybe even as high as a career year. Maybe even as high as 7th. Mark it right now. Book it. You heard it here. Joel Apps, 7th place. Moving on. Wilbon, last season, BG came out of the gates in his draft and he went goalie, and then he drafted a Buffalo Sabres center as his 3rd pick. What do you make of this nonsense? What are you expecting from this guy this year? Was that his fault that a player got hurt, or is that just mismanagement?
Yeah, Tony, that was a rough season for BG, you know. BG's one of those teams, it's just like the Lakers in basketball. It's just like the Yankees in baseball. The league is better when he's doing well, but here's the problem. He never does well. He's not good. He makes a decision. You tell me you go goalie, Sabres in the first 3 rounds of your draft last year? That is mismanagement. I'm telling you one thing. If I was the general manager of that team, I would have fired that guy 5 weeks into the top of the season. That's what I would have done. He's hanging on by a thread, man. It is not good what's going on in BG right now.
Yeah, well, he's going to have pressure on him coming out of the gates. Because let me tell you this. His first matchup, he's got the defending champion. He's got Zane. The next 3 matchups, he goes against teams that made the playoffs last year.
Well, yeah.
All I'm saying is, if come week 5, if Brandon still has a job, you can come and talk to me then, all right? I think he's getting fired. That's the hot take here. Brandon doesn't make it until the end of the season.
You think he's going to last that long? He could do. You think he's going to last that long? All I'm saying is if he has a bad draft, you watch out for those fans. They're going to want some blood, all right? Tony, every year we hear from a lot of the league. We hear from a lot of our friends. We hear from himself especially that Brad knows a lot about sports. Tony, is this the year that he's finally going to get things back on track?
You know, that's a good question, Wilbon, Michael. That's really tough. I don't know what to say, because let me give you a few numbers here. Since Brad last won a title in 2009, these have been his finishes. We've got 9th, 2nd, 9th, 8th, 6th, 9th, and 9th. Looking at these numbers, I really don't know what to expect from him. I can't expect anything better than 9th based on this.
No denying that.
There's obviously something being lost in translation here between his knowledge of actual sports and his execution on in the fantasy world. And I don't know, can you see him doing any better than this? This is, it's not an outlier. This is now a trend.
Yeah.
He's not good.
Tony, I hear you on this one. It's a tough one, you know. Brad's just as capable of winning a championship as he is of missing the playoffs, it would seem. I don't really know what to expect from this guy this year, you know. He's a wild card. Maybe this is what it takes. Maybe this is what it takes to light that fire and he'll have himself a good year. I don't know. It's tough to say. Tony, with Michael Chung spending a lot of his time in Winnipeg in training, do you think this is the environment that will set him up to make the playoffs this season?
The answer here simply is no. I'll tell you 2 things that I know about Mike Chung. He will draft Henrik Lundqvist at some point, and other than that, he lives in Winnipeg. He's doing some sort of training. He wants to be a pilot, maybe an astronaut, I don't know. He wants to be flying in the air, but he's got too much air up here to do anything that matters in this league right here. Chung is going to do absolutely nothing. He's going to grab Lundqvist and he's going to be happy about it and stop caring about his team, or he's going to miss out on Hank and then he's going to be upset and stop caring about his team. We don't need to talk about this guy. This is a non-story. This is fake news.
Now, that's where you're wrong, Tony. I'm going to tell you, he is going to have a good season, and here's why. I got 2 words for you. Rice Bowl. That might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Rice Bowl. He believes that it is his to win. As soon as Jay Choi left the league, Chunger thought that the Rice Bowl was his for the rest of eternity.
You're not listening.
What happened? They threw Zane in there and called it basmati rice, and then they threw Jammer, who isn't even Mexican, in there because everyone likes to make that joke. Mike thinks he's been robbed. He wants that rice bowl. He's going to be motivated this year. He's coming for that thing. I'm telling you right now, rice bowl.
Well, if you think he's winning the rice bowl, he's got another thing coming to me. He ain't winning the rice bowl anytime soon, all right? Next, moving on to Adam Wendell. Now, when the league changed its rules a few years ago to add hits and blocks, there was one team who during the regular season has been making a lot of noise, and it's Adam Wendell. But he's yet to parlay that into playoff success. Wilbon, is Adam's window closing? Has the rest of the league caught up to him? Is he done here? What's going on?
Is his window closing? I got news for you, Tony. His window is closed. It's been closed. They slammed it shut. They put a lock on it. This guy's chance is over. When they changed the rules, he found an inefficiency and he had a couple of good years. But last year he couldn't even get out of the first round of the playoffs. He barely got out of there. I think he won 5-4.
It was 4-4 in the first round.
Yeah, that's right. 4-4 on a tiebreaker. That's right. That's how he got out of there. He's barely surviving. His window's been slammed shut. Put a nail in that coffin because he is done.
Yeah, but I think Adam's got bigger problems here. I think his bigger problem here is Kylie. She wants a championship. She talks about it more than some of the people in our league do. So I think if he doesn't get his act together and win a championship in the next couple of years, maybe he's gonna get home and his key doesn't work on the lock anymore, if you know what I'm saying. She wants a title, he needs to bring it to her anytime soon.
Yeah, she does want a championship. Maybe if he gets off to a bad start, she'll leave him down in Mexico in November. Tony, Pete joined the league 2 years ago and he finished 8th place. Last year he went to Australia for a season and he finished in 8th place. What are your expectations for Pete this season?
8th. The answer to this question is 8th. This is the easiest question we've done so far. Listen, he's back in the country now. He's living in a lighthouse or something.
I believe it was a boat.
Yeah, whatever. It's nautically themed. He's living somewhere over there. He's going to have a decent, if uninspiring season. He'll finish 8th.
I got him a lot higher than that, Tony. Yeah, no, like I think people forget. When he came into the league, he came in on storm. He won the President's Trophy, I do believe it was, his first year.
Fluke, that was a fluke.
No, it wasn't a fluke. Nah, either way, whatever. I don't know what this kid's potential is, what his cap is, but I think he could make some noise this year.
This year? You think he's going to challenge this year? Yeah, okay, well, talk to me when he wins a playoff series, all right? That guy's not going anywhere. All right, it's time for toss-up.
Toss-up? Who's more likely to have a short story written about them by Zane? Scott or Kurt?
Okay, now this is a tough one, Wilbon. Yeah, this one's tough. So it basically comes down to who's gonna have what kind of season, right? Is Kurt gonna have another terrible season and it's gonna inspire Zane to write about him again? Maybe he's gonna be dwindling near the bottom again? Or is it gonna be Scott failing to get over that hurdle and Zane will write a story about that? It could be a children's story about a runner who can't get over the hurdle, so he quits his life's dreams and ambitions and maybe becomes a raging alcoholic. So my pick is gonna be Scott because I just pitched that idea for a story and I think Zane's gonna like it and he's probably gonna write that at some point this year. Scott's gonna get chirped with that story, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I can see Zane having a lot of fun with that, Tony, but I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take Kurt. I have this feeling that Zane wants to turn this into some sort of tradition, you know, seeing how poorly Kurt does and then letting the league know that Kurt really hasn't been relevant in this league since he got married. I think that that's basically what the point is going to be here, and as soon as Kurt starts to struggle, Zane will probably write about it. And you know what, Tony, can we take a second and shout out how good was that short story that Zane wrote last year, The Great Escape? How good was that thing?
No question there. It really was fantastic. Shout out to Zane for writing The Great Escape. That was amazing. I think that's what won him the title, really, if we look at it that way. It's what won him a championship. All right, next.
Toss-up. Which former champion will have the better year? Ben or Robin?
This is another tough one here. I'm going to go with Robin based solely on the form of the last couple of years. He won a championship 2 years ago, Michael, and when you're winning that recently, that's got to count for something. He's obviously a degenerate gambler. He's got nothing else going on here. He's going to look into stats really in depth, and he's got a child coming on his way. That child is going to dominate his life, so I think he's going to put one final push into trying to win a third championship, or is it a second? I don't know, it's not really important, but he's going to try and win another title before the kid dominates his life. I'm going to go with Robin here.
Yeah, Tony, well, you know who else follows stats really in depth? It's Ben. And he's exactly the kind of guy that would get pissed off about something like this here. He doesn't like his name getting dragged through the mud. Here, watch this for example. Ben, your beard sucks.
Absolutely
I bet
terrible.
he just looked at Zayn right now and scowled at him. I bet that's because that's exactly the kind of person that he is. He's gonna get angry about this, and watch it right now. He's gonna have a big year. Big year.
All right, last one.
Last one. Who can repeat their success? Zayn or Jordan?
All right, for those of you who somehow don't know, you've been living underneath a rock for the last couple of years. Zayn's been in the finals for 2 straight years. Jordan's won Sacco 2 straight years. Who's it gonna be? I think this one's, you know, if this was actual professional athletes, I'd say that it's harder to lose that often. It's harder to go 0-16 than it is to go 16-0 in the regular season in the NFL. But these guys aren't professional athletes, guys. The managerial styles do matter here, and that's why I'm saying it's a no-brainer in my mind. Jordan's gonna finish last.
The answer is
again.
obviously Jordan. This one isn't even a conversation. We waited, this is the last question. The answer is obviously Jordan. We're running out of time, folks. Tony, before we go, what do you think the odds are Jordan finishes Sacco for the 3rd straight season? You're gonna ask me odds? I'm gonna say 65%. 65% he's the Sacco again. All right, that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for tuning in, Knuckleheads. You guys have been great. Canada, thanks for having us here. Shout out Steve Burley. He made this video. He has no idea what's going on. All right, have a good idea. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you later.